everybody. My name is Puppetine from the Geeky Puppet Show here on the Geeky Puppet Show with Froggy to talk about Venom. Let there be carnage. Ah! Yes.
And tacos.
No tacos. There are no tacos in this movie.
I'm outraged.
Well, I'm sorry, but
I am going to raise chaos because I want tacos.
Well, I'm going to raise carnage, huh? How about that?
You're his daddy now?
Who's your daddy? No. But getting to, I don't want to spoil things first off yet. We're going to take a few minutes and say how we felt about the movie. Overall, it's a fun film. It's not the greatest movie of all time. I feel like the execution in places is weak. And I'm not behind all the choices that they made for the story. But take that aside. This is a really fun movie. It's 90 minutes of mostly action. There's nothing slowed down. The pacing doesn't feel too off, I don't think. I have one major complaint, though, and this is getting a little spoilerly. Not enough She-Venom. Do you agree?
Are you about cheesecake now? Are you Puppetine the Cheesecake Man?
When it comes to She-Venom, yes. Yes. Yes.
Weird. That's all I'm going to say.
Go ahead and give your quick spoiler-free review before we get into the spoilers of this movie.
My spoiler-free review, this movie was pretty good. If you enjoyed the first movie, you'll really enjoy this movie too as well. Cletus Cassidy, I thought was done pretty well in this movie. Woody Harrelson is great. I mean, there's always going to people are going to be like, oh, this film is trash because they'll say, well, it's dumb. Venom's not even he's not in the Spider-Man universe. There's no Spider-Man universe. So what's the point of his character? It's pointless. I don't like the way Venom and Carnage look. They look too rubbery. Dude, none of that matters. I've had people say because they don't like the way how his costume looks, the tentacles.
Are you kidding? Okay. Now I've got to interject because that is ridiculous. Venom, he looks really good. But Carnage looks excellent. I love the design. I have since I was a young, stitching. I wanted to see Carnage in live action. I don't even. That character doesn't have this purse close connection to me because, well, he is a serial killer. You don't want that. But I've always wanted to see him in live action. It's one of those things. And so, like in 2008, whenever they had Venom, and it looked like it was leading into Carnage coming to the big screen, and that failed. Well, that's just.
I gotta say though, this is actually Carnage. This is his second time being in media, other than being in cartoons and stuff. Actually, it's his first time actually. I guess more like CG, movie version. He's been in his first appearance I saw him was in the 1994 Spider-Man cartoon, where he was where they wouldn't let him be referred to as being a serial killer. No, they didn't even mention the bodies at all. But they said he was a lunatic. He was referred to as a lunatic, crazy guy. He didn't kill anybody, but they did allude that he may have killed people. And then we saw him again in the Ultimate Spider-Man. He appeared again in there for a little bit with Mary Jane becoming the Carnage symbiote. And then we saw it again just recently. He was in the Spider-Man 2017 cartoon. So he's been popping up lately. And I gotta say, since Todd McFarlane, did Venom, we got Mark Bagley and I think it's David Mitchell who created Carnage. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, but Maximal Carnage. Have you read the comic book at all? Maximal Carnage.
No, I haven't.
The whole series. It's awesome. It is. It is awesome. You get Shriek. You get Spider-Man. You get Venom. And it's basically you get Venom and Spider-Man teaming up to go against Carnage and his new buddies. His girlfriend Shriek, and then he's got the pet like doppelganger. It's a weird looking Spider-Man with 6 arms. Looks more like an insect.
I think now is a good time to go ahead and say we're going to be talking about spoilers because Shriek is in this movie. kind of.
And they changed her.
They do change her a little
They
bit.
did, and for those who care about race swaps, they did race swap her.
I don't care about that.
No, I don't care about it either. I'm just pointing it out for people. There might be people watching who care
Always
about
made sense. It kind of makes sense if you think about it because of how her hair is. When the Shriek, when she has a symbiote, her hair's all over the place. So I was expecting that in this movie.
That wasn't her at all. That's Scream.
What? Oh, that's Scream. That's Scream. I mixed them up.
Shriek is she's white. She's kind of like Domino. She's all white and has the black hair. Yeah. And she was crazy to bat, just as crazy as Cletus was, and they both escaped. And they formed a bond, escaping from the Ravencroft. So yeah, she's in this movie. They did away, so but didn't really take away for her performance. She was still crazy to bat. Which I really loved about that. So, they do bring back Danny, Anne's boyfriend, who I should say, wow, I'm forgetting the spoilers now. He's now her fiance, and Venom still hates him. And Eddie thought he maybe had a chance, but now that's kind of turned down. And at the end, for those who don't remember, at the end of Venom #1, he told Anne that Venom was dead. There was no more aliens.
That was a lie.
Well, I hope so, because I'm going crazy.
Venom 2 would be Brock.
Yeah. So, yeah. So this movie is I gotta say, I really enjoyed it. But I'll point out, if you're gonna watch the movie and think, oh, it's on the MCU, that's no credits, no, it's seen at the end, you need to stay for the end. I'm not gonna reveal it right now. I'm gonna wait.
That's a conversation for after we get into some of the story of this movie.
But I gotta say though, that reveal at the end, the credit scene, was much more entertaining than the movie. I won't lie. I got more hype for that than I did the movie.
Yeah, I can understand that. But we'll go ahead and talk about the story of the movie. So Cletus Cassidy, played by Woody Harrelson, a perfect choice. Perfect. It's excellent. Though him with hair is a little weird nowadays. He ultimately wants to get in contact with Eddie. He's the only person he'll talk to, and he wants to get a message out. And Eddie does print the message out for the Daily Bugle. And he is just about to just print that, and then he'll get answers from Cletus Cassidy about his life, things that he's done. But Venom points out his cell, Cletus Cassidy's cell, and there's pictures all over the place. And so Venom, whenever they get home to the apartment, starts pointing out information and uses a computer, and he single-handedly, so it seems, Eddie Brock finds all the bodies of the victims of Cletus Cassidy. So they have decided to reinstate the death sentence just so that way they can kill Cletus Cassidy.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Yeah, that was. And this leads to a point where they're going to, kill him. But as he's having his last meal, he wants to talk to Eddie Brock one last time. Yep. Eddie agrees, shows up.
And he's upset with Eddie because Eddie pretty much betrayed him. He's like, I trusted you, and then you did this, and you stabbed me in the back. I thought I see us as brothers, as equals, as like people. And so he starts talking about how he knows about Anne, he knows about all this, now he's a loser and all that stuff.
Yep.
He's like, you'll never amount to anything. I want you to be alone and all that stuff. And so Eddie goes up there, gets angry, and he's supposed to stay 3 feet away from the bar at all times. What's really dumb though is apart from this, Eddie sets his tape recorder on the actual jail cell bars. Why did you do that?
No, it's not Eddie who gets upset. I mean, Eddie
no. But let me finish, bro. During the interview, Eddie put his tape recorder on there.
Yeah.
Why did he do that? That is dumb to begin with, because you got to go in there and reach it for it. This guy is walking around, not handcuffed or nothing. He could just reach with the bar and grab you, pull you against the bar. So, Eddie doing this because he's used to Venom protecting him all the time. He thinks something like come of it. But he gets Eddie walks to the bar and gets angry, but then Venom grabs him and starts because Venom starts banging around and throwing him at himself. And in order, Cletus gets desperate, so he bites Eddie in the finger. This draws blood. And he lets go, and then Eddie gets tossed out. Eddie leaves.
And Cletus, all while he's doing that, it says, "I know the taste of blood, and that's not normal. You have a secret, Eddie. I know it." And that's when we see the blood on his. He takes it from his mouth, and it's on his fingers, and it starts trembling, you could say, and the little spikes start appearing. He swallows it down. Mm-hmm. So we cut to the moment with Eddie. He's not happy with Venom, and they get in a fight in the apartment, and they end up throwing each other all around. He's actually fighting himself, pretty much.
There's a guy down there, homeless guy down there. He's just pushing a shopping cart, looks up, and then he sees stuff flying out towards him.
Up there.
Yeah, and Eddie's in a Venom guy grabs his stuff. He's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, and then Venom's like, "Take your stuff and leave. Get out now." They're fighting like an old couple, like a married couple. It's hilarious. Yeah. And he picks up the TV. Because his big 40-inch screen TV, or how big it was, but he's like, "That's a $40,000 TV. Don't pick it up." And he's like, "Oh, what?" He goes to the window. He's like, "No. I'm sorry. Don't." He throws it out. He lands on the ground. He's like, "Oh." I just love how they're just fighting, and then eventually, Venom says, "You know what? I don't need you. I don't need this abuse. I'm leaving." And he hops onto the homeless man down there, and then he yells back up at Eddie, and Eddie's like, and then he jumps. He gets spy jumping. He goes on a girl on a bicycle, and she's freaking out as she's riding her bicycle down the traffic. Here's this big Venom thing coming. She's like, "Ah!" She's swerving, even yeah. So then Venom gets his own little self-discovery moments apart from Eddie.
Yeah, we get to see him. He's going body by body. He goes to party a little bit, but there is trouble. What? Trouble? Yes. While Eddie seems to be able to pick things up in his apartment, he gets to take down the sign that says "No eating people." He is in trouble. Why? Because it is revealed, and we see it as Cletus Cassidy becomes Carnage and escapes the prison. Yes, just why is he supposed to be dying?
Well, I'm going to say this: he got lethal injection.
Yeah, one of them.
One of them, and the second one's coming out, and you see in the IV, the yellow liquid's going down, but then it stopped because there's red liquid pushing it back up.
Yep.
But then he starts changing, and they start shooting him inside. There's a guard in there with the warden, and the guard starts shooting him. He attacks the guard, and then the people are in there. And I guess there's a guy in there in the audience, one of the family members. He looks like freaking Eugene from The Walking Dead. He's the guy on the far right.
Oh.
I looked twice to see if it was him or not. I don't think it's him, though. But I was like, dang, that looks like Eugene. Anyway.
When he's revealed, it is wonderful. Just to see him. It's wonderful. There is one thing to say. This movie is PG-13. And while they say, "Oh, this pushes the limits of PG-13," not really. And
it should have been rated R because I want to see people being torn in half.
Blood. I need to see
Carnage.
blood.
Well, that's the whole thing. That was Maximum Carnage and all those things. You actually saw the gore. You saw people dying.
Mm-hmm.
And as he walks to the prison, he's chasing the warden. He killed other people. And what Eddie's doing, he's throwing his spikes.
Yes.
I would call him Eddie for it. No, sorry. I mean Carnage. Cletus Cassidy Carnage. His body's able to shoot red projectiles at him. He's done this multiple times with Spider-Man, and they're like little daggers. And he's doing it to other people in there, and he killed some people in there. And then he's chasing the guy through the third prison, and they're all cheering, "Yeah, kill the warden!" And he's just kind of like just killing anybody gets in his way. He finally gets the warden. Only this because he creates a giant freaking tornado like spinning, whipping his.
Yes.
I was like, that was kind of weird. I've never seen a symbiote do that before. That was kind of like, I'm like,
it was kind of cool too, though.
Yeah, it was. But this is some reverse Flash stuff. He's just gonna stick to the trail, and then the gourd is hanging on to the, and then he gets pulled away.
Like that.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Fun.
But he gets out, and then
so this is danger for Eddie Brock.
Yeah, Eddie gets. And then meanwhile, this is happening. Eddie sees it on TV that Cletus has escaped, and they said it's some kind of monster. And he gets a call from the detective. You know, the one who we find out detective is the one who actually shot Shriek. You know, because she was being whatever it was the original girl. She was being
deep breath, Froggy.
Francis, her name was, I think Francine.
Yeah.
Was being out of the little sanctuary, the little place they're at, was taken to Ravencroft. She tried escaping using her, because she has a silent scream like Black Canary. For those who don't know. And she ended up using it on the guard. She broke out, but then, like, you know, as she went to go jump, the guard shot her. Turns out the guard who shot her is now the police captain. The detective, you know, the one that's interrogating. He shows up and talks to Eddie and says, like, you know what? I don't know what's going on, but you're always in the center of this crap. If you're not, you need to tell me stuff, you know. You need, and he says that, yeah, he's, you know, if I were him, I'd come for the person that you know, that gave him sent him to the death row, which is kind of cool.
And well, we actually get to see Eddie go on a little bit without Carnage. Without Venom there. He's struggling a little bit, but he ends up following to Raven. No, not Ravenlaw.
No, he goes to a nightclub.
No, that's Venom, not Eddie.
Yeah, Venom. Yeah, Venom has been on body hopping, and he goes to this club where they. Remember, they're in San Francisco, so it's like an LGBTQ club. And they're in there, and he's like, you know, and they're singing stuff. And he gets on a mic, and he starts laying some deep, like, he's talking about Eddie. They're like, what's this guy talking about? You know, because he's talking about, hey, Eddie thought I was a freak, you know, he wouldn't let me.
I wish Eddie could see me now.
What the fuck?
What was that?
Yeah, I'm well in the dark.
Help. Are you okay over there? I don't know what that was, but yeah, that's basically what Venom says. And ultimately, though, he ends up struggling his way to is it Mrs. Chin or Miss Chin from the last movie, who owns the convenience store.
Do you think it's kind of funny though, seeing Venom wearing those hoop lights, you know, like the glow in the dark ones?
Yes,
all over his neck and his arms. He's wearing them. Yeah, but eventually, like he said, he goes to Mrs. Chan. Miss Chan knows that Eddie and Venom are still together. She gives him she gives him chocolate, because chocolate and brains, apparently the chemicals in the chocolate, is all falls in the brains, keeps Venom alive. So he's starving and he's dying. He crawls in the body and he's like, need chocolate,
need food.
Yes, like that. And so that's when we cut away. Eddie ends up going to, well, the institute where Cletus and Shriek were raised, and finds a carving on a tree that says basically Cletus hearts Shriek, Francis. And just a few minutes before that, we saw Cletus actually there. And so Cletus, he has stolen a car, and he looks in the rearview mirror, and he sees the Carnage symbiote. And this is a little off to me. Because from my understanding,
hold on. Did you say that Cletus was there before Eddie? Well, Cletus was there a long time ago.
No. The scene that we see Eddie actually go there, we saw Cletus actually return to the place.
Yes, but Eddie had gone there first. That's where he found the heart on there.
Yeah.
On the tree.
No. But I'm saying Cletus was there just a few minutes before Eddie.
No. He wasn't. It was afterwards.
I'm pretty sure it's before.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's afterwards. I'm on the right side.
I don't know. I can't tell you again for sure without paying to see the movie.
But anyway, that's what
Anyway.
that's what led them to believe that, he said there's some girl FB who's FB, and he says that's Francis, but she's died. She's dead. She died.
Yep.
And then so then that puts the fear of God into the detective.
Yep.
Because he knows. So Eddie ends up going. Eddie. I forgot Eddie, but Carnage. Cletus Cast. So you see him like grabbing basically kills a guy in the alleyway. And puts on his costume. You see the guy laying there with the shirt over his body, head's gone. Sees he's feeding Carnage. He goes and walks. He sees a car. He's like, "Oh, it's a cool little car here. It's a Mustang, Ford Mustang, or red, cherry red Ford Mustang, 60s." He hot wires it using the symbiote, turns it on and drives around, goes crazy, and then leads the cops on the chase and stuff. But before that, though, he goes over to the gas station, walks in there, and he has to do some research because he kills the guy, kills him, and then he puts his fingers to turn all the symbiote, Carnage symbiote, inserts into the laptop. He's like, "Hey, does this thing have internet?" And then the whole internet thing, the design website goes red. So apparently, symbiotes are able to surf the web, hack data.
Yeah. So
which is different from the comics and all. Yeah. This is something new, entirely new for the Sony. I guess it's for plot reference. They have to do that in order for him to find out where Shriek is. He locates that Shriek's inside Ravencroft, which is her government research facility, where she's been there for all the time. And we cut to Ravencroft, and she's giving, she's like, "Did you see the paper?" He's like, or no, that's what it is. She's like, the lady who runs her, he's like, "Your boyfriend somehow managed to escape from death row, but don't worry, he'll never find you." And we see
find her
on the screen is because she can't, because they ever basically in a glass prison and it's a vault thing. Yeah, she can only type there and so whatever she types was on the little keypad, spell check, and it says it says "I'm already here," and she's like, "What?" And then you see from Shriek's point of view, and you see the lady get pulled up by a tentacle and just hanging there, and then choked to death, and then dropped on the ground. Then, oh my gosh! So Carnage shows up inside the thing, and Cletus goes up there. He's like, "Hey, baby!" He hugs it. The tentacles just break, and then they get out and they flee. Then they go to the car. Then they go back to the old place where she's like, They said they're always going to watch the
where
thing
they
burn.
grew up, St. Edna's. I remember the name now.
Yeah, they're going to burn it. Yeah, they burn it down to the ground, and the cops are there too, and they show up because they got a tip. Because, I remember Eddie said of the tree, so they're going to go back there. And, they start going, and they start fighting with the cops, destroying the cruisers. They're tossing them around like rag dolls. What's really cool, though, is that Shriek, not knowing this, remember, she believes the whole Venom symbiote and all that stuff. She opens her mouth, she's screaming. This pisses off Carnage. It weakens Carnage. He's like, "Shut your girlfriend up, or I'll kill her." And you can already see that the two symbiote and Cletus are not really bonded.
Yes,
they're arguing.
And you see, this is where there's a little problem for me, because from my understanding, Cletus and Carnage, because of how Carnage was created, they share a bond that's even tighter than Venom's and Eddie's. So the whole idea that these two now start fighting doesn't sound right to me from what I understand. And I could be wrong. I've been wrong before.
Because, remember, Cletus is choosing his girlfriend over the symbiote.
Yeah. But
so symbiote's getting jealous. And not only that, because the symbiote only wants to kill Venom. That's his whole goal.
Yep.
Because he wants to be the alpha.
Wants to kill Daddy.
Yep. And Cletus says, you help me break my girl out of prison. I'm going to help you get back at Eddie. Or Venom. Venom.
Uh-huh.
So they leave there. She ends up, Eddie tried to warn Anne, telling her that Venom's still there. First of all, he gets a phone call, actually. He has a phone call, calls her. And this is where he gets the part. She shows up, and he says, you know that thing? Venom's still here. And now there's a thing now, Carnage. I screwed up again. I'm sorry. It's only I need you to go get Venom for me. And she's like, what? So she reluctantly she goes to Mrs. Chan's, and she goes to talk to Miss Chan with her husband Danny, or not soon to be husband Danny there. And Danny's like, what do you mean? You lied. You said there's no more alien stuff. We're done with it. At this point, Danny should have died in this movie. It would have made much better the fact that, you could still have the hope for Anne and Anne to get together, but Anne decides not to be, and she goes her own path. You can still do that. But to have her being married to some schmuck who is like basically a coward, I don't see that because she's a tough woman. Anyway, so she's in there, she realizes that Venom's inside Miss Chan. And I know that sounds really bad, but they're bonded, at least somewhat from temporarily. And she's like, Venom, you come out here right now. And he's like, I don't want to talk to you. This was kind of a fun scene too. I recommend you to watch it. I'm not spoil it for you really much, but I'll just say that the dialogue was awesome. So then,
and from there, quickly,
your scene.
We get to my scene.
Yeah, She-Venom, bro.
Yes. She becomes She-Venom for a moment after returning to Eddie and breaks him out. And it only lasts a minute. This is my biggest complaint. We barely get to see her in her full glory. And then it's less than a minute. That's just rude. And then it returns to Eddie. And so they give Eddie a lift. Where do they take him?
An alleyway. Wait.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Where the car is, and he says that you guys need to leave. Go pick your bags, get out of here, go to town. Now this is interesting though. How She-Venom, or basically, how do they see she turned Venom back to him? Like they glowed stuff. In the comic books, Anne and Eddie have a kid who's also part symbiote.
Ooh.
I wonder if they ever do a future this, and they do have where she's pregnant with this kid.
That would be complicated.
Because remember, the symbiote doesn't really leave your body.
Well, while Marania is saying this, the fighting between Cletus and Carnage makes sense because he's a new symbiote pairing. Carnage never existed before. That's what I'm starting with. So Carnage at this point is born. He's born with Cletus, and so their bond is even stronger because of that. This is really like the last movie where you had Riot come and he took over the one. And that just doesn't make sense to me, considering how this symbiote is created, and Venom is now fathering this symbiote.
I know. I'll say this: the fact that he's a new symbiote, he spawned up there, he can be either way. There's no set way. You can't say he's body. Can't say.
This is from what I always understand.
And also him trying to bond with a complete lunatic. I don't think that would be really, solid bond.
But it's not bonding, it's creation. Without Cletus, there is no, obviously after Cletus, there is more Carnage.
But wouldn't you say that, but wouldn't you say that's how all the symbiotes are born? That Venom was created the same way? He spawned off somebody? That's how but the fact that he became a red one is funny though, because they're more dangerous, more unpredictable, more violence.
Yeah. That's what we are alluded to later on. But let's go ahead and keep going. It turns out that Anne is in danger. Oh no. Yes, because I'm trying to remember. Was it Shriek who comes in?
Yes. This was Shriek showed up at the outside of the apartment, and she shoves Dan to the trunk and says like, here's a napkin. There's a napkin, and the note says, give this to your Eddie, Venom. Mm-hmm. And then it's like
it's an invitation to a wedding.
A wedding, yeah. So then she goes in there. We see this is the other thing that was really funny because like they have a cat and they have a cat carrier in a luggage thing carrying him. I'm like, really? I don't know. Pet carrying, stuff. It's like, just get a dog. You don't need that stuff. You just have a leash and here you go. Anyway, so where were we? Oh yeah. Anne's inside the house, the apartment. No, she's grabbing the last thing. She's heading out, and then we see basically Shriek shows up, and basically this like subdues her. She wakes up inside the church, inside a sarcophagus or casket. That's just kind of creepy.
No, it's not a casket. It's just a box.
Well, it looked like a sarcophagus. Did you see the cover? They slid it off.
Yeah, but you don't have sarcophagi in churches. So
Yeah, but this guy's a cool.
I don't think it's that. It's just a box. It's a very ornate box, but it is a box. And they also have, because Cletus grabbed him, the detective. Yes, the one that Shriek once did.
Yeah, he pops up outside the car. He's like, put your hands up, Cletus. He's like, and Cletus is like, which arms? And it all turns in and grabs him. You can see though that this detective has a hearing aid because when Shriek, screaming in his ear like he was a cop,
like that.
So he still gets high pitched ringing sometimes.
So this
they got I love it. They're doing a little ceremony inside the church. Cletus and Shriek. He's like, the father's in there, where's the priest stuff. Again, everybody objects, and then Venom shows up, and it's like, he's like, oh, I guess it's time to kill the father. And then he literally looks at the priest. He's like, what? He's like, no, not you, father, the other father. But then what's funny is Venom sees it. He's like, oh crap, it's the right one. He quickly hides back inside Eddie.
Yeah, and Eddie's like, you need to get out of here right now. And we saw as Carnage, as he also goes back into the Cletus form because it's very different. Venom overtakes Eddie, whereas Carnage comes from Cletus. And it's very easy. You'll understand if you see it. But it goes back, and deep breath, I'm talking here. Okay.
I didn't say anything. You take the deep breath, and you keep continuing.
Okay. And so we see as the two are standing there, and Cletus is a little confused, and I think the Carnage symbiote is too. And inside, with Eddie, Venom's like, I can't go out there. What are you talking about? And ultimately, Eddie is able to convince him by saying, you can eat everyone in this room except the priest, and obviously Anne, and they don't know about the detective. But so basically, he can eat the bad guys, and Venom's like, all right. And then he comes out and he says, time to die. And Eddie says, oh, now that's the spirit. And then Venom says,
did you notice?
I mean, we are going to die.
Did you notice though that when Venom grabbed the pipe and then the fact the church bell? Yeah, I got flashbacks to Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 3.
Me too. The church bell when it comes up.
I'm like, is he gonna bang the because the church is being under restoration. So I'm like, oh, is he gonna grab like the rod, like the metal rod, and just bang it and make noise? Mm-hmm. No, he just stabs him with it.
Yeah, and ultimately this leads to a pretty cool fight. I will say that. It goes all around and it goes up and down.
I just felt bad for that people who were restoring that church. How old it is now? The church is just basically destroyed now.
I know.
No respect for culture.
And ultimately, there comes a moment where Carnage and Cletus are fighting over Shriek because Shriek tries to help. Yep. And Carnage sets her down and says, don't you open your damn mouth. And she's like, who do you think you're talking to? And Cletus on the inside is struggling with Carnage because the Carnage symbiote does not care for her. In fact, that's my main problem here. The Carnage symbiote isn't jealous, like we said earlier. It's not jealous.
He's using Cassidy.
He's using Cletus Cassidy.
But they don't have a natural bond though. So
yeah, which is my problem. I think they're supposed to have a stronger bond. That's their whole point.
Later on, maybe yes, but not in this. This is Sonyverse, man, bro. A lot of things wrong with this. There's no Spider-Man.
I know, but there's so much
stuff they could have done. That's from the original stuff, but they had to water it down for normies.
I think you're not getting enough credit because the first movie actually was able to execute this fairly well to a point where it could still be enjoyed. I think that they just kind of.
I'm not saying I never say it's a bad movie. I'm just saying for those of us who read the comics, for those who read the whole Maximum Carnage and stuff, read all this stuff, it's kind of a watered down, heavily watered down. The fact that it's not even rated R.
No, and that is a huge problem because of how brutal this movie is. That being said, though, when Carnage makes a hole from himself because people are shooting at him, and it just goes right through because Carnage actually uses Cletus's form to take over, and it's not like Eddie is inside Carnage.
Did you see that though?
Did
you see that? Yeah, see that when he got shot or when the giant hole ripped up? That's from. You know that's from? Cates' run on Venom with Carnage. Carnage was just a skeleton remain, so he had no body. So when a hole would open up, there was no body there. So the fact that Cletus is still alive as a body there, and it was gone when he got a hold of it and it just healed back up. Oh my god! Oh my gosh! That I don't know, but anyway, but
ultimately the fight does end. Shriek, Venom actually tosses Shriek from the top against the bell, and she's falling. Was
that Venom or was that Carnage?
Venom throws her.
Oh, I remember it being Carnage, but maybe you're right.
No, Carnage does throw her originally as she's trying to kill her cop, but up above, Carnage is actually like choking her at one point. Doesn't kill her, but that's when Venom tosses her down and she falls and she's screaming out, and this causes all the symbiotes to shake. Mm-hmm.
She screams into the bell, which reflects everything, and then it makes
Then the bell falls on her. It seems like she might be dead.
Well, she's down for the final count. The bell's rung.
Yeah, they don't say anything after that. But this leads to Cletus and Carnage being separated, and the Carnage symbiote does try to climb its way towards Cletus, but Venom grabs a hold of it and eats it, and then grabs Cletus, who says, "Oh, you were like family to me. I could see myself in you, man." And that's when Venom says,
"F this guy,"
and eats
bites it up.
Bites that off. That's right.
As he freezes.
And that pretty much brings us towards an end. They say they wish Anne good luck with Dan.
Mm-hmm. But the fact that the cop survived, which is really weird. He had glowing blue eyes. Did you see that? His eyes.
Yeah, I did.
I don't know what that's about, but that was kind of creepy.
So his name is Peter Mulligan.
Is he a werewolf by night?
No, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
I heard that is Toxin.
Oh yeah, there's a cop that became a symbiote.
Mm-hmm. So
anyway, it ends with Eddie basically because he's now a wanted man by the cops and all that stuff. He flees.
Aruba, Jamaica. Ooh, I wanna take you to Bermuda.
I don't know what island he's on, but anyway, there. He goes in his own hotel room. And I gotta tell you right now, we've been spoiling the movie, but we're gonna talk about what happens in the credit scene because this goes to the credit scenes here, and we're gonna find out something. It's just shocking. This is a huge announcement for the future of Venom, and all movies with Venom's gonna be in it. Yep. So if you're not prepared for this, you don't want to know. I ask you, you leave now, you stop, you get out of here because this is going to change your world. This may upset you, and this may make you happy. For me, and I know for you, made me thrilled because I'm like, yay! I wish they would have done it earlier though, but oh well, we can't get that. But all right. With that being said, I'm gonna count down to 3, and if you're still here and you're still listening to the spoiler, that's your own fault.
Yep.
So, 3, 2, 1.
Spoiler
all right.
time.
It's time for spoilers.
Okay, I guess so. Anyway, so Eddie's in his room. He's watching TV and stuff, and they're watching some Mexican drama. Not Mexican, but it was a Latino
novella. They're called.
Yeah, Latino drama in Spanish. and Venom's like, oh, I love this program, it's like it's so great. No, Eddie's like, yeah, but it's okay, whatever. Then so Venom's like, I'm gonna see Eddie. He basically tells him, he's like, you don't know what's going on as far as where the things I've seen, the galaxies. I'll give you a glimpse. Because close your eyes. Like, sure, what the hell of it. When he goes to do this, something happens. The world flashes.
Yes. So the world around them seems to shift. It was close to the nighttime whenever they were doing this, and suddenly it's day. And Eddie goes ahead and gets up. Venom comes out because they're all confused. What's happened? The room has changed. For some reason, there's a Tau Swan there. And that's when they look to the TV. And who do they hear?
Your favorite guy.
J. Jonah Jameson revealing that. So it turns out that Spider-Man is Peter Parker. Dun dun. And it is indeed J.K. Simmons. This Venom is now in the main Marvel universe.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be part of Spider-Man No Way Home.
I didn't see that.
No, because remember, if they're going to do the parallel thing, I imagine he's probably going to be in there.
I don't know. They didn't confirm that. We just know that he's a part of...
I wouldn't be shocked if he is, though.
I wouldn't be shocked, but I'm saying
anyway, Venom licks the guy. He licks
the screen whenever
he says, "I like this guy." Now here's some. I'm going to tell you about some problems with this because they waited too long. The fact that Venom has never met Spider-Man. Spider-Man was the reason why Venom was created because Venom was brought from another planet back with Spider-Man, and they both hated Spider-Man. Because, Spider-Man rejected the symbiote, and Eddie finally figured out how Peter Parker was getting all those scoops before he did, making him look like a fool. So they both have a hate for him. Now, the problem is, are they going to make him friendly? Because remember, Spider-Man is revealed to be a murderer. Are they going to go attack him? But then it's just going to be kind of weird. Because...
I don't know. I don't have any answers, and I don't know where this leads. So we're going to have to wait and see.
But I gotta say though, they wouldn't have showed him. They wouldn't show Spider-Man unless they're going to throw him in with Spider-Man into a movie together.
I know. I just don't know if they're going to throw him into No Way Home.
Oh, I would. Do you know what? Of all the things we've been seeing, I wouldn't be surprised if he's in there.
I wouldn't be, but I don't know if he would join the Sinister Six.
Well, no. I wouldn't say that about that. Well, Sinister Six, is that part of the No Way Home thing?
That's the whole reason. Everybody's saying all these villains are going to come up in No Way Home. So you have Doc Ock.
I've seen Doc Ock. I've seen the Goblin, but I haven't seen anybody else though.
Well, no, Sandman. It looks like Sandman and Electro is definitely going to be in it. We know Jamie Foxx is returning, and he's going to be yellow now.
Well, if we do that though, we should have Venom be. If that's the case, Venom's gonna be in there. They're gonna fight, but then Venom's gonna stick up for him. They're gonna fight together against the Sinister Six.
But I'm not sure. I really am not sure about what's happening. Venom teaming up with evil Doctor Strange. I don't know about that. But we're going to have to wait and see.
But I'm really excited about that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm excited too, and I want to see where it leads. But we're going to. I can't theorize too much because I'm worried about how they're going to execute it. I don't know how they're going to do this, so I'm going to have to just wait. Be patient. That's all I can do.
Yep. Or we go crazy, create chaos.
Well, I don't think we should do.
Chaos.
I think it's okay. So I think that about does it, though. We enjoyed this movie, clearly, but this end-credit scene sets us up for a whole future that we're going to have to wait and see what happens. And we will be right here watching it and reporting it to you.
Yeah, I'm not going to leave this spot until then.
I think you're going to leave that spot until then.
No, I don't move from this spot.
Oh. That's news. Alrighty, so thank you everybody so much for joining us. If you've seen the ticker down here, It asks you to please like and subscribe and to leave a comment. So leave a comment. Let us know what you thought of Venom. Does this sound like a good movie? We surely enjoyed ourselves, and we're just happy to see where this goes. Also, check out the Ko-Fi. Why? Because we do readings on here. Yes, comic book readings. So, for Classic Puppet Theater, if you have a specific issue you'd like us to read, excuse me, well, please just go ahead and leave what you would like with your tip, and we will put it to the top of the reading list. So, I think that about does it. So, for Froggy and myself, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the movie. Hope you enjoyed the review. We will see you next time. Bye!
Electros.